Hello, my name is Gretchen Sprinkle. My pronouns are she, her, and I am the Regional Council Manager for Birth to 5 Illinois, Region 16, covering DeKalb County. Thank you for watching Region 16's Early Childhood Regional Needs Assessment virtual report. This recorded session will provide an overview of findings from the Birth to 5 Illinois Region 16 Needs Assessment, as well as talk about the strengths, needs, and recommendations for improving access to and enrollment in early childhood education and care programs in the region. A link to the full report can be found in the description below. If you would like to turn on closed captioning, click the CC icon at the bottom of the video. This will turn on the captions. If you want a language different than English, click on the gear icon for settings. Click on Subtitles, then Auto Translate, and you can scroll down to pick the language you want. Some Birth to 5 Illinois regions partnered with existing collaborations to complete the regional needs assessment. Region 16 partnered with the DeKalb County Collaborative for Young Children, the region's long-established early childhood collaboration, to develop an action council that continues to support and expand upon the work already started in our region. With the DeKalb County Regional Office of Education as the backbone organization, DCCYC works to support an equitable early learning system through a county-wide collaboration of organizations that partner with families and communities to impact the optimal development of children. We thank them for their partnership and continued support as we work together to improve outcomes for children and families throughout our region. In 2021, the Illinois Commission on Equitable Early Childhood Education and Care Funding issued a report with findings that highlighted the inequities in early childhood funding in Illinois and the need to create a better statewide infrastructure to support early childhood professionals, expand services and programs for families and caregivers, and increase enrollment in ECEC programs. The report focused on the importance of addressing racial inequities and the need to include local voices in the conversation funders and decision makers were having about early childhood education and care. To provide a structure for communities, families, and caregivers to engage with data and share their experiences, a new statewide infrastructure was created across 39 regions, all aligning with existing Illinois State Board of Education regional offices of education boundaries, but operating independently. Birth to 5 Illinois regional boundaries align with school districts instead of strictly following county lines, which can be a challenge for gathering and interpreting data because many early childhood services are provided by or tied to school districts. Region 16 is in the north central part of the state. DeKalb County is uniquely situated between the greater Chicagoland suburbs and rural Illinois, about an hour west of Chicago off Interstate 88. It is the traditional home to the Potawatomi, Miami, Sioux, Ho-Chunk, Sauk, and Fox, Kickapoo, and Peoria. It is the home of Northern Illinois University, the Farm Bureau movement, barbed wire, hybrid corn research, and many other industries. Joining me in the Region 16 office are Malia Jones, our Family and Community Engagement Specialist, and our Administrative Support, Elena Pisano. Elena is going to share more about Birth to 5 Illinois' mission, vision, and values.
Hello, I'm Elena Pisano. My pronouns are she, her, aya, and I am the administrative support for Region 16. The experiences and knowledge families, caregivers, and early childhood professionals gain while navigating the complexities of the state's early childhood education and care system are valuable, and understanding their lived experience in the local context is vital for decision makers to ensure communities have access to the programs, services, and supports they need. To this end, Birth to Five Illinois was created to harness family and caregiver voices in early childhood education and care and serve as a bridge between the communities and policymakers so family, caregiver, and professional experiences can guide the decisions made to expand or enhance services across the state. Our mission is to create a statewide regional infrastructure that will amplify input from communities in the development of policies and funding priorities. We support the mobilization of communities to build and sustain equitable access to inclusive, high quality, early childhood services for all children and families in the state of Illinois. We envision that our work will help all stakeholders reimagine a more equitable early childhood education and care system that respects family and community voice and works to ensure it is centered and prioritized at every level of decision making in Illinois. We have three main values and goals. First, we must prioritize family voice. Through this transformation centered on authentic family and community engagement, we will address the inequitable distribution of resources and services and rebuild our state's early childhood education and care system. Second, we must address the racial inequities that exist in our early childhood system. In an effort to move our early childhood education and care system to one where racism no longer impacts a child's success, we will work to dismantle barriers that may have limited access to high quality services for minoritized children in every corner of our state. Third, we will use the collective impact model to shift the current early childhood system to influence policy and funding at the local, regional, and state level. Birth to Five Illinois will use community-driven feedback to build a system that harnesses knowledge directly from families and providers and encourage decision makers to ensure new and/or expanded services are created to meet community needs.
Two critical parts of the new statewide infrastructure are family councils and action councils. Located in each of the 39 regions, the councils provide feedback on quantitative data from the Illinois Early Childhood Asset Map, or ICAM, and the Illinois Network of Child Care Resource and Referral Agencies, or INCRA, to help contextualize the data at the local level. The councils meet twice a month in virtual, in person, or hybrid meetings. The family councils are comprised of parents and caregivers from a wide variety of family types: single parents, adoptive and foster parents, caregivers of relatives, teen parents, two-parent families, multi-generational families, and more, and prioritize the voice of those who have not been involved in this type of work before. We want to highlight those who have been involved in our Region 16 Family Council over the past year and thank them for sharing their experiences with the early childhood system. Olivia, Diana Abraham, Samantha Ballantyne, Kenyatta Jefferson, Ashley Mann Lofthouse, Carlisha Phillips, Jacqueline Rogers, Bridget Trout, and Courtney Walls. Action councils are comprised of early childhood education and care professionals, healthcare providers, faith leaders, elected officials, and other community members. Each Action Council reserved 2 seats for parents or caregivers to ensure family voices were included in every discussion. Action Council members were invited to bring additional aggregated data on programs and services provided by their agency or organization to complement data from ICAM and INCRA. We extend thanks and gratitude to our Region 16 Action Council members: Nicole Austin, Kay Chase, Amanda Christensen, Audrey Cook, Andrea Cozy, Judson Curry, Courtney Hill, Jennifer Johnson, Kiara Jones, Merle Kleiner, Rose Malloy, Tiffany Powell, Beth Prestegard, Terry Sparts, and Larissa Vanderker. Beyond the council meetings, additional qualitative data was collected community-wide through focus groups and interviews, and all council members were invited to provide input on each section of their early childhood regional needs assessment. Council members developed the strengths, needs, and recommended next steps that are unique to each region. Regional teams, along with the support of their Action and Family Council members, created a dissemination plan and are holding community meetings virtually and in person to share their report's findings. Region 16 has about 7,600 children under the age of 6. It is a racially, ethnically, socioeconomically, and linguistically diverse region. Approximately 65% of the children under the age of 6 are white, 16% are Latine, 13% are Black, 5% are 2 or more races or ethnicities, and 1% are Asian. About 13% of all households speak a language other than English at home, with Spanish being the most common. Approximately 36% of children under age 6 live in a home with incomes at or below 200% of the federal poverty guidelines, which is the income eligibility level for many publicly funded programs. About 11% of our children are living in homes with incomes at or below 50%, which is considered deep poverty. To gain a better understanding of how childcare costs impact household incomes, council members considered ALICE families. ALICE stands for Asset Limited, Income Constrained, Employed Families, or ALICE. These are families that are employed outside the home but still experience financial hardship. Approximately 56% of families with young children are ALICE families in DeKalb County. ECEC costs are a main contributor to families with young children experiencing financial instability. Additionally, council members were around priority populations, defined by Illinois Early Learning Council as groups that have been historically underserved by early childhood education and care programs. In Region 16, the priority populations our team attempted to engage include children of teen parents, children in families in poverty, children with disabilities, children experiencing homelessness, children with Illinois Department of Child and Family Services involvement, children who face barriers due to immigration status, children that face barriers based on culture, language, and religion, and children who are impacted by parental involvement in the criminal justice system. Additional information about priority populations was gathered through surveys, interviews, and focus groups, and is included throughout our final Early Childhood Regional Needs Assessment report.
My name is Courtney Hill. My pronouns are she, her, and I am on the steering committee for the DeKalb County Collaborative for Young Children. I'm also a member of the Region 16 Action Council. Community collaborations are an integral part of early childhood landscape. Local early childhood community collaborations bring together community agencies, organizations, and individuals with a shared vision or goal. They understand the importance of improving early childhood education and care for children, caregivers, and providers. Region 16's local early childhood collaboration, the DCCYC, covers the entirety of DeKalb County. The DCCYC, formerly known as the DeKalb County Kindergarten Readiness Collaborative, was established in 2016. It formed in response to collective impact initiatives led by the DeKalb County Community Foundation. The DeKalb County Regional Office of Education, where I work, is the backbone agency of the DCCYC. Our collaborative has a vision of all DeKalb County children being ready for kindergarten and life success. We recognize that children grow in social ecologies. All of the interactions children have, whether with their immediate families or the people and organizations within their communities, all contribute to their brain growth and development. The DCCYC is comprised of a steering committee and partner committees and work groups that contribute to the goals shared in our strategic plan. Some of the more visible initiatives out of the DCCYC are the Kindergarten Readiness Toolkits funded by the DeKalb County Community Foundation and Basics DeKalb County, which is housed at the ROE. Basics DeKalb County is the common message DCCYC uses to engage all sectors of the community around the importance of early childhood. Having a well-developed collaborative has shown positive outcomes for children in our region. More information on our local collaborative and the work we are doing can be found in the Regional Needs Assessment. Region 16 is home to a variety of early childhood education and care programs and providers, all serving children based on licensing, funding, and staffing requirements. But access to early childhood programs and services is not equitable for all of our region's families. Looking at just the number of licensed and licensed exempt childcare slots, there are only enough slots to serve 2,166 children. That means that at least 5,435 children do not have access to an ECEC slot. We refer to the number of children without a seat as a slot gap. Considering that some families do not want or need an ECEC program slot, this is still a very large slot gap. Additionally, when staff to child ratios, actual enrollment numbers, and full day versus half day options are considered, the actual slot gap is at least 6,000, which means that at least 6,000 children under the age of 6 cannot be served by a full day ECEC slot in our region. By mapping ECEC programs in Region 16, our councils were able to see the geographic areas without programs. Additionally, by mapping ECEC programs and then mapping where children are living, our councils could see that in the most populous areas of our region, there are only a few licensed child care homes and 0 licensed child care centers offering full day care. This is also the only area with a majority Black population as well. Mapping available slots reveal limited access to ECEC programs geographically, but when combined with a racial equity lens, mapping reveals where communities of color, specifically Black families, experience greater limited access to ECEC programs as well. Olivia, a Region 16 Family Council member, will share more about how ECEC professionals and families were engaged.
Through community meetings, focus groups, interviews, and surveys, families in Region 16 reiterated the urgent need for more affordable childcare and preschool options, staffed with providers and teachers that are well paid, supported, and who will want to continue working in early childhood long term. Similar to other areas of the state, Region 16 is experiencing a staff and teacher shortage, preventing programs from operating at full capacity or expanding to meet community needs. ECEC leaders shared that some of the biggest challenges are teacher stress and burnout, meeting the social emotional needs of children and families, and hiring staff in Region 16. ECEC professionals are concerned about the workforce pipeline as they see fewer and fewer people going into the field. State initiatives such as ECEC grants and Great Start wage supplement have been helpful for incumbent workforce, but do not make up the difference between ECEC professionals and their school-based peers. Regionally, there have been efforts to align pipeline development by the ROE, local high schools, 4C, Kishwaukee College, and NIU. However, it remains that workforce shortages contribute to the slot gaps in Region 16. ECEC professionals shared the difficulty of hiring qualified staff with credentials and degrees comparable to their school-based colleagues when the pay and benefits are very incomparable. Without significant investments in the ECEC workforce, slot gaps will continue in Region 16. Amplifying family voice is integral to redesigning a more equitable ECEC system. Families in Region 16 shared the challenges to find care in general, especially affordable, high-quality care. Many families reported experiencing lengthy wait lists, especially for infant and toddler slots, or inadequate hours of care. If families were able to find the care they needed, the cost is challenging, even for families accessing CCAP. The cost of high-quality childcare is a financial hardship for most families. When families were unable to find affordable, high-quality childcare, they made compromises or sacrifices. Some families compromised on the quality of care for what was available, including utilizing family, friend, or neighbor care that they were uncomfortable with for various reasons. Some families sacrificed job opportunities or decided to have one caregiver leave the workforce, affecting household financial stability. Families with children with disabilities are often unable to find care options that accommodate the needs of their children with disabilities. Whether or not they find care, they struggle to access the therapies their children need due to workforce shortages. Some barriers are more difficult to see. Many Black families, Latina families, families with limited economic resources, and/or families with limited English proficiency shared experiences of feeling unwelcome or judged poorly as caregivers. Overall, families want affordable, high-quality care that meets their needs. They want to be partners in their children's early care and education. As one caregiver stated, everybody should be able to access what they need. Samantha will share the strengths, needs, and recommendations identified by our councils. Many strengths and needs were identified in Region 16, all of which are in the full regional needs assessment. We have identified the top 3 strengths as 1. Region 16 has several quality ECEC programs and services, including child care programs with Gold Circle of Quality and/or NACE accreditation, Basics DeKalb County playgroups, public library story times, home visiting programs, and others. 2. There are also a variety of resources and supports for families and ECEC professionals, including 4C, the local CCR&R, which supports families in finding care and applying for CCAP, and supports family child care providers to get licensed. Kishwaukee College and NIU work collaboratively to support ECEC professionals in educational attainment. IRIS, housed at the ROE, is building an even stronger network of resources for families, ECE providers, and community members. 3. Lastly, a strong regional collaboration around ECEC provides a strong foundation for Region 16 to implement regional recommendations. The DCCYC has led the regional collaboration efforts. As needs were identified, there were 3 that were overarching. 1. Region 16 families need more affordable, quality childcare slots that meet their needs, including full-day slots, slots for infant and toddlers, and slots that cover second and third shift care. 2. Another need is increased accessibility to inclusive ECE programs, specifically for children with disabilities. Inclusive programs should also be culturally responsive and linguistically accessible for our families. Families should feel welcome and belong, regardless of race, ethnicity, English proficiency, or household income. Thirdly, there is a need for greater financial support for ECEC professionals, including wage supplements, continued financial aid for educational attainment, and greater investment in ECEC workforce pipeline development. Once strengths and needs were identified, our councils were able to make recommendations. There are 7 recommendations being made, each one correlating to an identified need. Each recommendation has a state focus and a regional focus. Our councils agree that addressing systemic changes in ECEC require investments to reduce costs for families and to increase wages and benefits for ECEC professionals. For the purposes of our presentation today, we have chosen the top 3 recommendations that we feel would have the greatest long-term impact. 1. We recommend that the state subsidize childcare for all families based on a flat percentage of income, prioritizing families with the lowest household incomes. Regionally, we recommend our ECEC programs to assess and increase, where possible, their CCAP utilization. 2. We recommend that the state ensure children with disabilities have access to quality ECEC programs from birth by requiring ECEC providers to comply with the IDEA tenets and NACE's developmentally appropriate practices. There should be funding to make programmatic changes and support staff development so that ECEC programs are culturally responsive and inclusive. Regionally, we recommend supporting the implementation of the Birth to 8 Mental Health Coalition and providing professional learning opportunities about inclusion and culturally responsive practices. And 3, we recommend the state provide funding to pay ECEC professionals a regionally competitive wage comparable to school-based colleagues. Regionally, we recommend exploring ways to braid public funding with ECEC programs to regionally subsidize ECEC salaries. As was previously stated, there were 7 total recommendations, and we strongly suggest reading the Region 16 Regional Needs Assessment for a full understanding of our recommendations. We want to thank our state partners for their support and you for watching. We encourage you to stay in touch with us by visiting our regional page at www.birth-to-5il.com/Region 16, joining our Facebook group, or reaching out to me via email at gsprinkle@birth-to-5il.com. Links to our pages along with my email address are available in the description below. Thank you.